Kirk Savage with it, finds Pottinger. Pottinger marked by Riley Minershagen, and Minershagen with the point block on Pottinger. Not something very often seen. Pottinger with a very quick release.
Very quick. And lots of spin.
Yeah, Minershagen able to anticipate that throw. He knows that Oscar wants to throw it deep. Now Minershagen with the high release swing to Laurie, swung around again to Blackman. 5-yard gainer to McGinn, and McGinn puts a throw out to space. That is D'd by Mark Leduc with the D. Now Kirk Savage brings it to the line. Chris Hancock marking him. Not much happening downfield, and Savage forced to throw the hammer. Finds his favorite target, Oscar. Oscar back with it. Fresh stall count, Minershagen closing. Back to Savage. Savage to Pottinger. These players just act like they're playing catch out there, like they've been doing it for years. Pottinger with the hammer over the top.
And they have been doing it for years. Pottinger started playing with Furious George in high school back in the early 2000s during that Furious George run.
Pottinger with the outside in flick finds Leduc. Leduc able to get that D with the bookends and then scores the goal.
And the blades coming in very handy.
Very, very
for
handy.
The Nighthawks early on.
You're going to see a lot of blades thrown from Furious George. As we said earlier, a team not scared to throw any type of throw that will get the disc to their playmakers.
And I think one of the reasons we haven't seen a lot of blades is in part because of that new disc that they're using, and the Innova. And it's getting used to how the blade throws.
Right, because that blade will hold its edge much more so.
And it holds in the air a little bit longer. Had you been throwing a Discraft, that one would have come down faster. So I think we haven't seen a lot of blades in the MLU, but I think probably just a matter of getting used to that disc. And a fine disc it is.
Indeed. So scores tied at 2s. Friedman brings it down about 10 yards outside his end zone, marked by Aaron Liu. There's Jeremy Meyer with it. Meyer to Strout. Strout now to the 30-yard mark. Strout to Johnson. Johnson already with 2 huge Ds. Bjorklund up the line, full extension. There's a crowd pleaser. Swung to Friedman. Friedman to his high school teammate, Strout. Back to Strout. Strout to Purston. Purston to Friedman. A diving Aaron Liu. And number 11, wide open. That's Kyle Johnson. 2 Ds, 1 goal for him in the game. That's Eric Hunter falling down. And you can see he just trips. It looked like inadvertent contact. You don't see.
The referees definitely got it right there. And Hunter getting up, making quite a display.
Yeah, he was not pleased with that. You can see he's very frustrated. All smiles right now for the Stags. They lead 3-2. Looking to build some momentum into their club season. Lots of these players play for Portland Rhino.
This is how the last time we saw them play here, we saw the game start off very similar to this, with Portland going up.
Very interesting pull there by Ben Laurie, electing to go with the forehand roller. Doesn't even cross midfield. I guess one advantage to that is the defense is set. Underhill with it.
Laurie got lucky there.
And again with a large mark We have a whistle downfield.
I like the Minor-Shoggen-Pottinger matchup. They're putting somebody a little bit taller, a little bit longer on Pottinger, get his hands in the way. We already saw Minor-Shoggen get one of those hand blocks earlier.
Right.
Trying to force him.
And there's Kirk Savage airing it out to Pottinger. Minor-Shoggen unable to close the gap. And that's the second short backhand assist for Pottinger in this game.
And that was a direct result. Minor-Shoggen trying to push Pottinger out. They're concerned about his ability to do so many things with the disc. But one thing about Pottinger is he is a very strong downfield player. As you mentioned, very quick release points. He's also got a very quick jump.
Right, he gets off his feet very fast. He may not jump the highest, but he's going to be able to attack the disc faster than other players out here that you might see.
And I like the choice by Minor-Shoggen to push him upfield. He needs to have help coming off the back of the stack there. But you don't want to give up. You don't want to, just because he got one, you don't want, if he gets another one, then you might want to abandon that strategy. But I would continue to push Pottinger upfield and away from the disc, force somebody else to come back, because he will get a lot of touches.
Right, and it's almost baiting that throw, daring them to throw that. And if the Stags are able to communicate downfield and tell someone to help out back, then they're going to be able to create defensive opportunities. There's Friedman with it to Purston.
And deep defense has been an issue for the Stags all season long with nobody helping out, and they really need to make sure somebody's there.
Bjorklund with it on the sidelines. Bjorklund airing out a backhand to Timmy Purston. No surprise there. Timmy Purston with his second goal of the game.
Adds another.
That guy just scores. He's just fun to watch. Always big smiles.
That was a great throw by Bjorklund. A very tough throw.
Especially with that pulsar disc. You can see it holds its edge. It doesn't come over and come from outside to in. It just holds that inside out throw, so it goes where he threw it. There's not much change in the flight.
And throwing on the line there, throwing on the sideline is always one of the more difficult throws.
Right, because you don't have any space over there to throw to. All you have is what's behind you. And so if it catches an edge, or the disc doesn't come around, or you throw it outside thinking that it's going to come in, then it's just going to stay outside.
So credit to Timmy, and credit to the thrower Bjorklund.
Underhill brings down the pull centers to Savage. Savage marked by Hancock. Big forehand fake. Savage throws up the field now to Pottinger. It's Keen Knapp coming back to make the play. Now Mark Roberts with it. Roberts airing out the flick. And Leduc with his second goal of the game. Second point in a row that Minor-Shoggen has been beat deep. Almost looked like he stumbled there. Leduc able to get Minor-Shoggen on the back of his heels. Minor-Shoggen's first step not as explosive as you would usually see.
I believe
What do you believe, Kevin?
I lost it. You mentioned a few players on Furious to watch already.
Right.
Who should we be watching on the Stags?
All right, well, we got three players here. Obviously, Timmy Purston, you've seen a lot of him. He's going to score a lot of goals. He already has 2 this game. He has to play 500 out there, but you've got to think that with Timmy out there, he's going to be able to get up higher than anyone else.
He is a lethal weapon, especially if the Stags can isolate him deep. And with the big field, it's much easier to isolate those guys deep.
And keys for Vancouver, we're going to lean on Galitz and Leduc. You've seen twice Leduc already scoring in the game. These receivers have quietly become one of the best tandem deep threats in the league, combined for 35 goals and 14 assists. Vancouver shoulder even more of the scoring load with Loach out for the weekend. That last key was to protect the inside shot. There's a hammer over the top to Mark Roberts. Now Keene with it. Keene up the field to Leduc. Leduc marked by El Salam. Dump to Knapp. Now Underhill marked by McGinn to Pottinger at midfield.
What do you mean?
We have a travel called on Oscar Pottinger. That is a turnover.
And we saw a lot more of those earlier on in the season. Haven't seen too many, and I don't know if there was a single travel call in the last MLU game that we did here on NGN.
There's Friedman with the quick swing over to Minershagen. Minershagen looking downfield. We do have a call.
Excuse me, MLU Live.
Just tapped in. Looks like we're going to continue with play. Purston, marked by Leduc. Purston hangs a lefty up to Hancock, and Pottinger explodes to the disc, rips it away. Now Savage with it.
That was a wise holster by Pottinger. Timmy and Minershagen downfield.
Wow. Minershagen getting the D. Lays out fully on Mark Roberts. Roberts almost able to attempt a greatest. Didn't stay in. So now it's going to be Stags, discs.
What, say that again? Well, yeah, I have to zoom out, though, because I have to pick up.
And that's the anticlimactic end to the first quarter.
The other thing is I can
Oh,
only
my.
zoom in on a very narrow spot.
Correction. We are getting time back on the top. We're getting 12 seconds back on the clock.
So this is a big opportunity for the Stags to put one in the end zone. You know they're going to have to take a shot to the end zone.
But they have plenty of time.
They do. They don't have to force it right away. They can swing around. They can go upfield. Looks like teams are going to take a timeout.
And I think what you want to look for in this situation is the collapsing. You want to try and take advantage of the collapsing defense as the time gets up. Read where they're going. Go the other direction. If you can't put it in early, I want to see the Stags attacking up the line like they did on that first point. Get them up the line. If they collapse up the line, you're gonna bring it around nice and quick, and you're gonna have the dead side of the field wide open to put it up if the stall gets high. If you're going up line, you're gonna get the disc moving quickly. You're gonna be attacking in the shortest passes possible. And
another big key here with the time as time expires, you see players in all sports really just think that, oh, I got to get it to the end zone because there's only 12 seconds left, and they rush through it, and they don't realize that they have 12 whole seconds. It's almost like they need to have an internal clock and do a countdown in their head and just count to 10. And once it gets to 10, then they know they're pretty close, and they're able to throw it to the end zone to really get as much out of the point as they can.
I think they'll get a little bit of help from the crowd here.
Right.
The home court, the eighth man, the Portland fans, who are looking fantastic today, I might say.
Indeed. It's mustache night here in Portland.
Some beautiful mustaches.
Some great facial hair going on around here.
Portland is a great place for a mustache.
It's a true hipster look. You can even see the mascot has a nice mustache going on down there. There it is.
That's true.
He's just walking around too cool for school with his mustache.
So the players have to wait for the full length of the timeout here. They can't come back any earlier. A beautiful, beautiful Saturday evening. Knotted up 4-4 coming into the end of the first quarter. It's a great start. Great start to the game.
Indeed.
I think one of the things, even though both these teams were eliminated from contention, we knew this was going to be a good game because these teams really do hate each other.
They do.
Portland, Vancouver has been a very strong rivalry, started from the USAU Club Series, and these guys kicking each other out of contention, always playing in those backdoor games and some really strong physical play.
And the Stags not. That was one of the quickest 12 seconds I think I've ever seen.
I
saw about
have to agree.
A pivot or two.
3 seconds. There was some.
Anyways, we had some time management issues. Stags take a shot, unable to capitalize. However, they did get the first break in the game, end of the first quarter.
So I think there was some confusion here in the booth, and I think a little bit of confusion out there on the field too. 3 seconds left. I don't think you don't really want to call a timeout from 10 yards out of your own end zone. There's only one play you can run with 3 seconds.
Right.
And that's the huck. That timeout allows you to put in some tall guys, but the chances of that succeeding are so rare. Better to conserve it with the timeout rule where you can pull full sublines. You might need that later on. Pull defense out. Right now we're going to take a break. We're going to go to a little commercial. We'll be back. We're notched up 4-4. We'll be back with you for the second quarter.
Let's hear our beloved mascot,
to week 9 of Major League Ultimate. We're here in the middle of a close game. Vancouver Nighthawks away at the Portland Stags.
Stags were able to get that first break on the very first point of the game. So they do have a slight advantage. However, the score right now knotted at 4s.
Beginning of the game, Stags won the toss, opted to defer, as the smart thing to do in the MLU is. Anytime you win the coin toss, you always want to defer.
Why is that, Kevin?
That's because after each quarter, one team gets to choose. It's not like the USA Ultimate Edition of rules where it's a direct mirror every quarter. It's a new choice every quarter. So if you were to opt for defense, which is a typical strategy on the flip in the USAU rules, you would then be receiving theoretically in the second quarter. In this, if you opt for defense, if you win the flip, you choose defense. Second quarter, the other team gets to choose what they want. They choose offense. They're starting on offense both times, unless there's a very strong wind. Not a good strategy.
Right. So we're back underway. Here's Strout with it. Up the line to Bjorklund. Bjorklund looking downfield. Pumps, finds Purston. Looks like the Nighthawks were coming out in a zone set. They're playing catch up now. They're closing in tighter on man. There's Adrian King with it. Swung over to Bree Strout. Strout up the line. Flick over to Purston. Purston. Wow. Beautiful throw up the field. There's Cody Bjorklund ripping a hammer to who else but Timmy Purston. He's unable to come down with that. Hit him right in the hands. It was an excellent throw from Bjorklund. A low hammer that held its line.
And he's got to catch that. He's got to catch that. I think there's some sun in play there, but no excuses. That was a great sequence by the Stags, and
that's Eli Friedman coming through. Former Callahan winner. Able to maintain possession for the Stags. There is an injury call there.
And Friedman, boy, is he an exciting player. Take a look at this.
My, oh my. Ooh,
He's
that is Joel Bellavance, the injured player. Looks like Friedman, as he gets that D, lands on Bellavance's ankle. Just kind of folds over.
Friedman, another player similar to Pottinger, where his explosiveness is very subtle, but very good.
Friedman finds Strout in the end zone. Portland able to take the lead 5-4. Big time play from Eli Friedman. We've seen that a lot from him over the years. Played his high school days at South Eugene. Back when there was a high school national ultimate tournament, his team lost in semifinals to Northwest.
And that's a nice little move there on the throw score. Gets the inside out, takes the little step to go with it, allows him to clear his arm and get around the defender. Too easy with that much distance.
Right, that was way too easy. You need to be right on your man as a defender.
Yeah, capping the stack there in the red zone.
There's Ben Laurie with the pull.
Savage
To Underhill.
doing his work.
Catching those pulls. Here's Leduc with it, marked by El Salam. Now Dre Galitz with it. Haven't seen much from him yet. Galitz swings across to Keen Knapp. Up the line to Underhill. Underhill to Pottinger. Pottinger marked by Minor Shagan. Very quick scooper to Savage. It was one of those throws that you don't commonly see. Now Pottinger back with it. El Salam going for the D. Leduc brings it down. Referees have signaled for a goal. El Salam, I didn't see what happened, but he is down.
Hard to tell what he's holding over there.
Let's take another look. Ooh. Oh, a knee to the back of the head. That is never a good sign. You just see
Ouch.
his head whip down.
Ouch. He's a tough kid. Still got the trainers out there. That score tied it up at 5s.
Okay, stop showing replay.
Still looking for another break in the game.
Right, the only one was the Stags on the first point.
Okay, good.
El Salam is staying down over there. There are trainers.
Vancouver 5, Portland 5. Portland going into the sun.
Okay. Line on it. This is a terrible place to be. We should have thought out the camera. But it's fine. Just
Now we have the Nighthawks set to pull. That's Robert Koenig, outside in pull. Friedman receives the pull. Now Strout swung around.
I haven't seen a lot of those up lines since that first very smooth point.
The Stags did have some nice flow earlier. Earlier on that first point when Bjorklund threw the hammer and Timmy dropped the hammer. Bjorklund known for his big throws.
He's got that backhand for sure. A lot of times it's just a fake.
Right, just to get the
How about
the
now?
defense to move around. Maybe he fakes so you can throw a swing. That time,
The real deal. I would say on the D, Friedman was playing very free safety back there, which is one of the things that the Stags defense has been missing is that help D.
right, just keeping your head on a swivel and knowing where the disc is, knowing.
Not even sure swivel was the right thing. He was just staying deep. It was leaving his man.
Anticipating the play.
Intelligently, his man was not being a threat on the field, so he was doing the right thing. But he recognized, hey, my guy's not doing anything. I'm just going to get out here, help my teammates out. Came up with the easy D.
Can I get
There's Underhill to Savage. Savage marked by Grant Cole. Now Leduc with it. 2 defenders going deep with Pottinger. Leduc unmarked. Now he's guarded. That's Kirk Savage with it. Savage to Knapp. Knapp with the strong flick to Galitz. Galitz marked by Blackman. We do have a whistle. It's going to be a 10-yard penalty for the Nighthawks. Just tapped in. Upline to Knapp. Knapp to Roberts. Roberts marked by Sean Parker. And Pottinger airing it out to Dre Galitz. Eli Blackman just trailing on that one, not even close.
But no help in that deep defensive area.
So Vancouver ties it up. And that's Dre Galitz. Him and Leduc were the 2 players that we were saying are keys to the game, to lean on those players. Before the game started, they had 35 goals and 14 assists. It's like now they're up to 40 goals and 14 assists.
And as a team, Portland's got to recognize there's 2 players out there on the Nighthawks that are giving them trouble right now.
Yeah, you got Oscar Pottinger and Leduc.
Leduc. Pottinger doing it with the disc in his hands. Leduc doing it downfield. So getting those guys moving into different positions. And everybody else on the team recognizing, hey, when those guys are making a move, we need to be extra heads up to help out. Because it is a team game.
Strout with it on the sidelines, finds Friedman. Friedman to Strout. Friedman up the line. Friedman around to King. King swung across to Purston. Wowza. Just not letting that disc sail. Back to King. Stags losing yards. Swung across to Friedman. Friedman up the line to King.
I'd like to see another up line.
We got lots and lots of handler motion right now from the Stags. And there's a shot down the field. A beautiful throw from Breeze Strout. He was lucky there that Davis didn't have his head up sooner, as that disc just went over his head. Had Davis turned a second earlier, you never know if he would have been able to close the gap, because that disc was not, it wasn't very high. It was low to the ground, and Davis could have D'd it.
But what you see there is Strout seeing Davis not looking over the right shoulder, the correct shoulder. Or Davis was looking over his left shoulder. Bree said, hey, I'm going to throw it over his right shoulder, make it hard for him. All right, he reads the downfield defense, puts it over a little bit to the dead side. Davis, in order to really get a good look, hyperextends to the left, doesn't allow him to get the jump he needs. If he has to come back around to the right side, he's not going to be able to get the jump he needs either, because it's going to be too late. So that's one of the things, Strout analyzing that beautifully, I think, and then putting the right throw up. to their main man, Purston.
Now Galitz with it. Galitz up the field to Pottinger. Pottinger been throwing it to the end zone all day. Now to Savage. Savage around to Knapp. Knapp looks off Underhill. Now to Galitz. Galitz looking downfield.
Savage is the
Galitz to Savage.
indomitable reset. Like he just seems to always be open on a reset.
Now Knapp with it. And up the line to Savage.
No.
Not many breaks in this second quarter. In fact, none. Only one break in the entire game so far, happening on the first point. Team's been trading since then. There have been some turnovers, just each team unable to capitalize when they get that disc.
And that wouldn't be the most surprising occurrence, given standings-wise, both these teams are currently sitting at the bottom of the West. Defense wins games, and having a strong defense is gonna get you more than 2 wins for the Nighthawks against the Stags, 1 win by the Stags against the Dogfish in a really tightly contested match.
Friedman brings it down, centers to Strout, back to Friedman. Friedman to Johnson. Johnson with a, looks like he was hit on that one. Finds Bjorklund. Bjorklund able to come back and get the disc. Now Meyer with it, dumps to Friedman, and it just bounces off Friedman's hands.
Lugsden calls the timeout.
Instantly calls timeout right when there's that possession. Lugsden looking to take the lead for the Nighthawks. Not wasting any time.
You know, Johnson, I think probably maybe getting a little too excited about the other guys with their throws. Probably not his role to try and hit that deep ball right now.
To be fair, it did look like there was contact there, and you never know when you step back, and if there's anything that touches you in your throwing motion, it can throw you off. And when that throw came off, it just flipped over and was fluttery, and Bjorklund fortunately had his head up looking at the disc, and Lou focused on his defender, not so much on the disc, overruns the disc. Bjorklund able to come back and get it.
And that's one of those things, which those bad plays that just work because you can't anticipate them. Leo couldn't anticipate that disc going there. Bjorklund couldn't. He just happened to get lucky in that he was deeper, so he got longer to look at where it was going.
All right, so coming out of the timeout.
Tied up at 8.
Savage with it. There's Dre Galitz out in the lane.
1:47 on the clock.
Pottinger with it. Looking for Galitz deep. Pottinger forced to put it up. LeDuc is there. And Dan Shaw.
He's a crowd favorite.
With an excellent D.
He was on the mark though.
Beautiful play.
Play is back underway. Stags with it on the sidelines. That's Ben McGinn to Timmy Purston. Purston up the line to Strout. Strout with, I don't even know what to say about that throw. Fortunate for King, able to pancake that one and bring it down. Swung across to Steve Gusson. Dump to King. King back to Strout. Strout again with a hammer. Very difficult catch from Friedman. Strout looks like he's trying to make something happen with his throws. Now the Nighthawks with it. Pottinger looking downfield.
Trying to take the lead before half, 20 seconds left on the clock.
And a big unforced error there from Davis. Only
Now
10 seconds remain in the second quarter. There is a foul called just underway, only 5 to go.
I think we're going to see a delay of game here. King, when the foul was called, the clock did not stop. Or the clock stopped. King ran up to the yardage spot. The clock went into play before the referee had blown the disc in. King wasn't throwing the disc because he knew he was going to get called for an infraction had he thrown it.
Right.
We got 12 seconds left on the clock.
Stags
Vancouver
looking to take the lead. They are, of course, up a break.
8-8.
And a costly turnover thrown down towards the end zone. And as play expires, Davis catches it out of bounds. Scores tied at 8 going into halftime. Please stay tuned for more action here on MLU Live. We'll be back.
Are we out?
To the second half of week 9 in the MOU. We're tied up at 8s here in Portland. Vancouver Nighthawks visiting. We've had a very close game so far. Not a lot of defense is the story of the game. I'm here with Jackson Kelsey. My name is Kevin Minderhout. We'll be talking you through.
Yeah, there's only been one break, and came on the very first point.
Potential for another one there at the end of the first half, but saw no such luck.
Only 12 seconds remained, and Adrian King had the disc 10 yards outside his end zone. Tried to dump it to Breeze Strout. And Strout drops it, along with the possibility of getting that break. I'd like to take a quick moment to thank some of our sponsors. Elemental Technologies, one of the main reasons we're able to bring you this game live is our partner Elemental Technologies. Elemental is a leading supplier of video solutions for multi-screen content providing unmatched solutions for more than 250 leading media franchises worldwide. To learn more, please visit www.elementaltechnologies.com. Follow at Elemental Tech on Twitter. Also like to thank 5 Ultimate. 5 Ultimate is the official apparel provider to the MLU. They are true lovers of the game and have built their company with a vision for growing the sport and outfitting those who play it. Visit them at 5ultimate.com or follow them on Twitter, twitter.com/5ultimate.
Call my level, Ben.
We got 2 minutes until the start of the third quarter. Just enough time to take a look at last week's plays of the week. Stags getting ready. Halftime entertainment wrapping up. King sporting the mustache, the eye black mustache. It is mustache night here in Portland.
Everyone's favorite city for a mustache.
Minor Shotgun, I believe that one is real.
Authentic.
With perhaps a bit augmentation, or all
I don't know. Looks like he has one
Minor.
side flipped up. The other side is null.
We saw some great mustaches in the crowd, handlebars.
In fact, during halftime, they had a competition to see who had the best mustache.
I think he just sports a mustache normally. So going into the third quarter, what adjustments do the Stags need to make in order to start converting?
I think a big adjustment for them will be aggressive upline cuts. That first point, they came out, they were forcing it up the field, being aggressive, keeping the defense on their toes or on their heels, and taking the game away from the Nighthawks.
And it was easy.
And it was very, very easy for them.
Defensively, I'd like to go back to what I've been saying all game is they need to help on those deep throws. Pottinger has been hurting them all game long with his deep game, throwing to
Leduc.
And they haven't been getting help.
No, he's talking about the.
Right. You'd almost like to see the Stags start to dictate where Pottinger and Leduc are going. Keep Leduc under, force Pottinger out. Pottinger's throws are what is absolutely killing the Stags right now. However, it's only 8-8, so this game is anyone's at this point. So we're underway. Underhill with it, finds Kirk Savage, marked by Chris Hancock. And Savage not wasting any time, going to Leduc, and there's the help defense from Minor Shagin.
He's the man that's going to bring it.
He is.
He's a smart player, played at Lewis and Clark, got into the club scene, and has really, really shined in the last couple of years because he's become such a smart individual.
Dan Shaw with it on the sidelines, marked by Roberts. Shaw throws it too far for Laurie. Pottinger picks up. Looking towards the end zone. Dumps to the always open Kirk Savage. Savage puts it on a line to Leduc. Leduc, that's his 5th goal of the game.
And the first lead by Vancouver. And you can learn something from these older guys in that it's not their athleticism that's getting him open. It's how he reads the field. And Savage is just very, very savvy. A lot of the move he likes to do a lot is he likes to take his guys upfield into the middle, get them on his backside, and just kind of run under. Like he doesn't get too far deep and just gets open with that move all the time. Defender needs to be aware of that fight for the under as soon as Savage goes. As soon as Savage makes his little move up line, you've got to immediately come around and call that deep help up. If you don't do that, Savage is going to keep doing that move over and over and over again.
Here's Friedman, swung over to Strout. Strout airing it out, looking for Kyle Johnson. And the disc sails out of bounds. It's going to be the Nighthawks disc just at the 40-yard line.
Strout with 1 goal and 1 assist already this evening. Couldn't get that one to connect.
Sorry about that, Vin. I thought you were saying Leduc.
Can you get D's on here?
Sounds like number 2.
Alan Cohen brings it to the line. Finds Lou. Lou around to Bellavance. And then Lou, looking for Lou. Just sails too far. Lou unable to bring it down. Now King with an opportunity for the Stags. The Stags are sitting in a horizontal stack. Bjorklund cuts under right away. Dump to Johnson. Up the line to Strout.
That is
Hurston with it.
6 throws now within 10 yards of their own goal. 7. Too many shortcuts that aren't opening anything else up deep in the field.
Now they're starting to move it up the field. Meyer with it. Dumps to Johnson. Johnson to Bjorklund. Bjorklund airing it out. Eli Friedman there. Just bounces off his fingers. That's Dan Duran with the defensive position. Timeout here called by the Nighthawks.
Friedman not too happy that one got away from him. He's from a player mentality, he's a player that believes he needs to get every single one, which is the right attitude one needs to have. That, like, even though it was not the easiest catch, he takes personal responsibility for not catching every single throw that comes his way.
Yeah, one quote you've heard around the ultimate world for a long time is, if you can touch it, you can catch it.
And Friedman
believes that through and through.
Becker taking Friedman out at the timeout here.
Actually, what happened was Lugsden subbed in his offensive line. We're going to take another look at Friedman's catch, or attempted catch.
I think he does a nice job getting here, putting himself, it just was a touch high. But he did a nice job. He was going to have to go over his defender to catch that disc.
It's the only place that he could make a play on it.
He went for it at the very earliest moment he thought he could.
He was going big or going home. Unfortunately for him, there is a turnover. Now Nighthawks with a chance to get a break in the second half.
And this is a similar...
Pottinger turfs the disc, trying to throw an inside-out flick, looking for Underhill. Now Hancock with it, dumps to Laurie. Hancock up the line. Hancock around to Minershagen. Minershagen taking a shot towards the end zone. And Dre Galitz there to clean up the D. 3 Nighthawks defender. It's like Minershagen kind of forcing that one in there. Now Galitz with it to Pottinger. Pottinger airing it out. However, Roberts unable to bring that one down.
Defensive second half right now. Stags looking to get on the scoreboard, tie things up.
Laurie picking up the disc. One of the
Let's make some noise, Portland.
rising
Stags back on offense.
profile players in the Portland area.
He does a little bit of everything. He's got solid throws. He's an athletic body.
an all-around player for sure. Can just go in there and do what your team needs.
Laurie actually went to the same high school as Colorado star Jimmy Mickle. Now Meinershagen to McGinn. McGinn putting it up to Blackman. Blackman brings that one down. Portland ties it at 9s. Crucial point for them. Not letting the Nighthawks grow their lead.
McGinn's had a quiet game.
Haven't seen much from him.
He normally likes to establish himself early as a offensive thrower, but haven't seen the disc in his hands all that much this game. And I think part of that might be, I think Coach Becker had talked to him about moving McGinn over to the defensive line, and a game without a lot of turns, not gonna get him going.
Here's Laurie with the pull.
Tied up at 9s. Nighthawks on offense away here in Portland.
Underhill with the around throw to Savage.
Eternally
Leduc
open.
Deep. And Savage not caring, puts it up to Leduc. Leduc with a great catch, one-handed snag, inside throw. Kevin Underhill a little bit behind. Ben McGinn right there, just unable to reach out and D it.
Love that play by Dan Shaw. Love the effort. He's a crowd favorite here because he gets up and explodes the disc so often. He
Not
needs
a player scared to put his body on the line at all.
He does not. He's one of those guys that is a step away from becoming a very good player. He's got a lot of pieces there. He just needs to start putting himself in that position a little bit earlier.
Kind of similar to Eli Friedman talking about how he always goes big and always going for it at the very first moment he can get it. Dan Shaw not quite there, but very, very close. Pull here from the Nighthawks. Friedman brings it down, centers to Adrian King. King dumps to Friedman, back to King.
Stagnant upfield.
Lots of handler motion here. You can see that vertical or that horizontal stack just creeping in. Players cutting each other off. Now Bjorklund gets it, and Bjorklund putting it deep to Eli Friedman.
We're gonna see something. Foul call by the referees. We'll take another look at it. Friedman, great job boxing the whole crowd out.
And the referees did rule that it was a goal. So Portland ties it back at 10s.
And that was some stagnant horizontal offense. I've said this before, and that's with the Stags working their horizontal, they work too vertically. When Bjorklund came from the far side all the way across horizontally, got open, no problem. The horizontal cutting, a much different, decision-wise, it's a much different story in MLU. 4 minutes, 31 seconds left in the third quarter. Tied up at 10s. Furious on offense.
Underhill brings it down, centers to Savage. Savage finds Leduc on that far side. That's a pull play, clearly designed by the Nighthawks. Savage swung across to Underhill. Underhill looking downfield, now looks at his dump, finds Savage. Savage in the middle of the field, marked by Hancock. And a beautiful D from Riley Meinershagen.
I believe that's
That's number 3 on the day. 3 or 4. Ben McGinn putting the hammer to Sean Parker. Goes up with the one-handed stab. Haven't seen much from Sean Parker today. That sure was a pretty catch.
I haven't seen too much all season. He's only a few games back in after going out with surgery to a bone spur in his right ankle.
It's a big body they like having out on the field. 6'5".
And McGinn is throwing his signature throw there at the giant hammer.
Just look downfield and see how far you can throw it.
How high, how far, how McGinn. Great catch by Parker to reel that in.
That's a difficult catch, especially laying out as he did.
Good.
Holding his arm out there, just being strong, saying, I'm going to catch this right now.
6'6",
boom, there's a goal.
Making a big man play. A timely D there last point by Minor Shotgun, giving the Stags the lead back, 11-10.
Now LeDuc with it in the middle of the field. Swung over to Underhill. Underhill to Dre Galitz.
Too much help.
We have a defensive foul called. That'll be a 10-yard penalty. Galitz walks it up the field. Galitz looking dump. And Galitz just a little too far for LeDuc. He was open, just had to put it right in front of him.
Great defense by the Stags to cap the action there at the front.
Now looks like Becker
Shuts
copying what
down
Drew Lugsden has done. He calls a timeout when they get the turn and elects to put out his offensive team. We've seen Andrew Lugsden do that twice already this game. Maybe Becker's taking some notes from Andrew Lugsden. Of course, Lugsden, the heart and soul of Furious George for years and years, led them to multiple national championships.
And the coaching is an interesting part of Major League Ultimate and Ultimate in general, where the coaches for the Nighthawks, Andrew Lugsden, Jeff Cruikshank, two of the greatest players in their time. We see the Rainmakers being coached by Ben Wiggins, also phenomenal player, many national championships. The Stags, Justin Becker, fantastic player when he was playing club at a young age. Still young, though. All these players still quite young in the spectrum. Coaching is only very new to Ultimate, so it's something that I look forward to seeing develop.
Right, and you always see the best teams out there tend to have a coach. Revolver with Jeschweier. He coached them for years.
Ironside, McCarthy.
Those are two teams that have been in it for a long, long time.
And this Major League Ultimate is going to allow a lot of those older players to stay in the game.
Drop there from Eli Friedman. Difficult catch. Stall count getting high. And Friedman gets the D back. That's Alan Cohen looking for Aizawa.
Not letting the drop get him down. Coming back, getting it done. Friedman. And Gusson, a little sell, a little contact. We'll take it.
They'll take it.
Portland.
10-yard penalty. Walks it up. Portland still looking to find their rhythm offensively. They've been having a lot of handler motion. Trying to get the players from the back of the stack. You see these players back there just aren't cutting, or when they do, it seems to be 4 of them at once.
And the wind has picked up a little bit.
Cody Bjorklund airing it out to Jeremy Meyer. He goes up and brings it down. We do have an injury. That's Robert Koenig down.
Let's take another look at it.
Bjorklund not scared to put it deep.
Meyer making it happen. I talked to Bjorklund a while back, asked him why we don't see him throw his backhand as much as his flick. He said it's because he would throw it too far.
I'm sure there are a plethora of players that would love to have that issue. I just throw it too far. Meyer easily breaks the mark, finds Friedman. Friedman's starting to fill up the stat sheets, folks. He's got 3 assists.
Make it 4.
That's a goal there, so he's got 4 points this game. And then he gets that D, just keeps position, knocks it down. The bookends for Eli Friedman.
I love to see that. I love to see has the drop on the tough throw, says forget about it, goes and gets the D, comes back, gets the score. Such a smart, creative player. On the D, he has the right sense of mind to anticipate if they're going to throw the dish, they're going to throw it now. Now I can look. Even though he's going to lose position, if he doesn't see it, he realizes his guy's got nothing left. Gets the D, does the same thing in the end zone. Great play, great work by Friedman there. Getting the Stags up 12-10.
Galitz with it, marked by Laurie. Galitz looking downfield, finds Pottinger. Pottinger unmarked. Rifles a flick to, guess who? Leduc. They're going for him all game long. That's his 6th goal of the game.
And you just had a sense that Meinershagen was going to get there. You just felt like the crowd was there, wanted it. He's made so many of those big plays. But Leduc, too much. Pottinger always ready to go deep when he gets that disc. Check him out.
Boom. There it goes.
Does not waste any time. That very quick release point. It takes him no time to get there and throw it. So you're downfield, Meinershagen, you got to say, actually, not Meinershagen, the offside defensive player needs to see Pottinger going for the under and say, I need to go help deep now. We can sacrifice the under. Pottinger's going under. I got to get out there.
Because you know that disc is coming. Every time Oscar gets it, he's looking deep.
Yeah, and quick. So you have to anticipate it early on.
There's Strout with it.
The wind has picked up just a touch here. Going on your screen from right to left.
King with that big backhand fake. Finds Brees. Now Person with it to Bjorklund on the sidelines.
30.
Strout streaking deep, and Strout brings it in. Increases Portland's lead to 2. Portland coming out to play. That's 2 breaks for them this half. That point, however, was not a break, but they did get 2 earlier. Second half, a much different story. Only 1 break. However, only 1 break in the first half. And now the second half, there have been 3 breaks already, 2 for the Stags, 1 for the Nighthawks.
Stroud feeling it.
He's pumped.
Stags feeling it. Crowd starting to get into it.
Only got 26 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Stags lead 13-12. D-line out there for the Stags. We got Nevin Root with the disc. Grant Cole, Chris Hancock, Ben McGinn, Raffy Hayes, Timmy Purston, and Riley Meinershagen. I'm interested to see what they do with Pottinger here.
I'll go with 2 breaks, I think.
Pottinger with it. Swung over to Savage. Leduc streaking deep.
And
They don't find him.
Person was doing
There it goes.
exactly what we talked about.
That's Mark Roberts with the goal.
Well, you can't do much more than that.
That is an A for effort.
Oh.
Purston. Underhill brings it down.
And Underhill,
And the first not on strike.
fantastic work to get it
Where's number 12?
on the way down. Always a little bit harder to catch it when you're coming down. Person, though, that whole point was working the help. Like that was he was making a play there on the help D, which is exactly what we talked about that they needed. Granted, there was 2 seconds left. There are now 2 seconds left on the clock. There was perhaps 15 at the time. They need to have a little bit more of a sense of that all game.
Pull goes up, only 2 seconds remaining.
Pretty much.
You're going to see the disc just get aired out here.
I think you pick
Not
it up
even
and hold it. You don't risk the short throw there. You're not going to throw it 80 yards. You got to pick that up and hold it.
So we come to the end of the third quarter. Portland able to take the lead by 1. Couple of breaks in there. Big plays from Eli Friedman, Riley Minershagen, Bjorklund in there. Oscar Pottinger doing work, finding LeDuc in there. A couple goals for him.
It's a lethal combo.
We'll be back for the conclusion of this game on MLU Live.
Stags up 13-12.
Nighthawks hustling down on that first throw. Able to stop it. Now Strout with it. Over to Bjorklund on the sidelines. Bjorklund looking downfield, marked by Kirk Savage. Swung all the way across to John Thornton. Thornton upfield to Strout. We have a disc space foul called on Alan Cohen. Strout gets 10 yards. Starts play at the 35.
I'll trade you some whiskey for some.
Dump to Friedman.
I'll take some whiskey. And I'll give
A lot of contact there.
Friedman putting it out.
Do you have whiskey?
However, it doesn't come back and it stays out of bounds.
And Savage.
Savage a little slow to get up, a little gingerly on that.
I think about 15, 16 years in the game. He can have a little leeway to get up.
Yeah, you can take your time when you've been out here for as long as he has. Savage swung across to Pottinger. Pottinger back in his own end zone. Up to Cohen. Cohen looking downfield, finds Galitz, marked by Meyer. Galitz with the flick. to Aizawa.
Yeah, but
Dump to
he's
Savage.
super young, too. He's
Savage swung to Liu.
Yeah, he might have a couple years on
In
him.
the middle of the field with Pottinger. And of course, Pottinger puts it out to Aizawa. Aizawa able to bring it in and ties the game at 13s.
Beautiful throw by Pottinger. Another one.
So the Vancouver Nighthawks are able to get a break. That point took about 4 minutes. Excuse me, 3 minutes. And Nighthawks are able to tie it at 13s. That's their second break of the second half. Quick update on Khalif El Salam. He's doing all right. Ambulance came, took him away, but he's doing well. Always good to hear that after taking a knee to the back of the head.
An upstanding young man, and we wish him well. Recently, El Salam named Skides Freshman of the Year in the college series.
That pole sails out of bounds for the Nighthawks. Stags are going to take it about at the 40-yard line.
Thanks, David.
Excuse me, the 30. That's Adrian King bringing it to the middle. It'll be marked by Knapp.
Laurie back in the handler set.
Laurie to Purston. Purston dumps to King. Big fake from King. Now Purston with it on the sidelines with Johnson. Johnson to Strout. Strout thought it was going to a player behind him. Sails out of bounds.
13-13. Stags got to dig in here.
Elevin swung across to Koenig. That's Drew Lugsden calls the timeout. Decides to put in his offensive team of Galitz, Savage, Pottinger, Underhill, Roberts. And Leduc stays out there.
Naturally.
He's been a goal-scoring machine today. Already with 6 goals in the game. Most of those throws coming from Pottinger, who at halftime had 6 assists.
Six assists at halftime. He's added a few more. That's a big time impact. Shut him down. Stags need to come out here, start to get gritty.
They got to dig deep. It's tied at 13s. Looking to get their second win on the season. This is going to be a big momentum builder for them going into the club season, as Rhino and Furious George will battle all season long. And it's always good to beat your rival, especially your regional rival.
Hey, guy in the white shirt. Will you move out a little bit? Sorry. No. I need your shirt. Oh.
Coming out of the timeout, Stags on defense. Let's get the turn. Tied at 13. Let's hear it, Portland. Make some noise.
Now Underhill with it, marked by Begin.
Okay,
Underhill finds Pottinger. And Leduc streaking
Vancouver brings it down by the goal
just
line.
every time. That's automatic between those two. Pottinger gets it, doesn't think twice about throwing it deep. He doesn't care that Leduc is even with his man.
And the Stags need to stop it. They have to stop that matchup. It's happened too many times tonight. And they're not helping. There's just no help when Pottinger gets the disc. Root coming from behind it, but it's too late.
Yeah, it needs to happen sooner. They need to have that help deep. Just somebody that's hanging out back there. Almost wonder if throwing a zone out there to contain it, because
A zone would be a fine idea right now. I think one of the problems is the Stags don't have a zone in their repertoire. Not a lot of time to practice.
How's that looking for you then?
They meet for an hour, 2 hours
You
during the
want to get a little
weeks and get out here and play.
yeah, very difficult to throw a zone out there.
Nice cohesive, but it would help immensely right now. It's what they need. Because they're not getting it done individually on their matchups and the help's not coming, they need to take it away with Purston deep. A short pull.
Short pull there from Underhill. King picks up. Now Purston with it. Back to King. King looking for Strout. Strout goes up line, clear space for Bjorklund. Bjorklund marked by Lou. Gosh, I can remember those two matching up in regionals. Just a fun matchup. Bjorklund on offense, Lou on defense. Now Bjorklund streaking deep. King with it, losing yards.
They need to get more aggressive up line.
There's Purston coming in with the gainer.
King needs to take that to the hole. If he doesn't get it, he'll clear space for Strout.
King to Purston. Now Purston back to Strout. Looks like they're playing a very short game. Strout looking for Purston just a little too far. Seems like he could have waited maybe a second or two on that one and Purston would have been in the end zone. He could have thrown that exact same throw. Might have been a little rushed. Now Lou with it, marked by Bjorklund. Lou to Koenig. We have a travel called on Robert Koenig.
Second travel of the game.
Play results in a turnover. Stags with an opportunity to score and tie it back at 14s. Vancouver already taken the lead. They started this quarter out down one. They take the lead and the Stags are able to connect. That's Bjorklund to Kyle Johnson.
Johnson having a fine game. 2 enormous Ds early on for the first break. Coming out here, Bjorklund fighting through this mark.
I'm honestly a little surprised that I didn't hear a foul call or something on that, because you can see there's definitely contact.
And part of that is the referees are instructed to wait when they see that the play could result in the favor of the offense. If they blow the whistle,
So
the disc is dead immediately. They have some discretion to wait on the whistle call, allow the offense to make the play. And that one, Bjorklund does a really nice job fighting through that contact. He's a big, strong man. He can do that. And one of the underrated skills is being able to take contact and get it off.
Underhill brings down the pull to Savage. Savage marked by Hancock all game long. Now Pottinger with it. Finds Roberts on the sideline. Just at midfield. Marked by Laurie. Roberts putting the hammer up, and Eli Blackman comes out of nowhere to get that D. Stags with a huge defensive point. Disc thrown up the field to Minershagen. Minershagen putting it up. That's just not a smart decision right there by Minershagen. Only 3 seconds in the stall count. Has an opportunity to dump and reset. He wasn't forced to throw that. Now Nighthawks moving the disc up the field. LeDuc, surprisingly, he's catching it under on this point instead of going out. There's Knapp with the around throw to Savage. Savage marked by Root. Now Pottinger with it. Pottinger fakes upfield, dumps to Savage. Savage, the around throw to Underhill. Underhill looking at Savage. Now Savage with it. And we do have a foul call. The crowd is not happy about it. Chris Hancock coming through, laying out, getting that D. However,
I don't think that was a good call, Jackson. That was a drop.
So, regardless of if it was a drop or not, it is the Nighthawks disc. Now he's marked by Root. Tessarlo with it. And the
Another
third travel call of the game. You wonder if that's almost a makeup call for the refs. They see that he did drop it and throwing that out there. Now Hancock with it. Finds Laurie on the sidelines, unmarked. Another travel call. The whistles are aplenty right now. Now Savage takes it. Marked by Hancock. Just at midfield. On the backhand side. Savage putting it deep to Galitz. And Galitz says, that is my disc. Quiets the crowd.
Beautiful play to the dead side.
That's an excellent throw from Savage. Puts it up, knows that Dre Galitz will elevate. Goes up over 2 defenders. It looks here like Root really has a good shot at getting it.
That's something else. Gives Vancouver the 15-14 lead.
Only 2:58 remaining. Stags don't need a super quick score, but they do need to score here soon.
And they need a sense of urgency. They need a sense of, we can do this. We need to do this for ourselves. Standings in the league right now, 1-7.
For the Stags, 2-6 in the Nighthawks.
Their one win came in a similar game. They were down 1 with not much time left. Managed to put in 2 breaks off the play of a...
And Aaron Liu poaches in. Strout didn't see him. Davis swung across. Now Liu with it, unmarked. Disc goes up. And that's Bellavance bringing it in. This crowd was rather raucous a minute ago. Now it's very, very quiet in here.
A lot more blade type throws. The last 2 scores, Blades saw it early in the game. Vancouver has a nice handle on their blade throws right now. Feeling the air. Stags down 2. 2:26 left in the 4th quarter.
That last point only took 31 seconds. Excuse me, 31 seconds.
Stags are going to need a quick score here and then some rock-solid defense.
They're really going to need to dig down deep. It all comes down to who wants it more, who wants to win it with their legs, who's going to put themselves in the position to get the disc. King brings down the pole. King dumps to Friedman. Friedman back to King. Swung across to Purston. Now to Bjorklund. Bjorklund dumps to King. Up the field to Strout.
Why is the clock so fast?
There was a whistle. We do have a foul call. However, the throw was completed. Looks like it stays with Strout. Dump to King.
Interesting play there where the clock kept running, which was not to the Stags' advantage. They're going to really need to put it in.
Stroud with it, finds a wide open Cody Bjorklund. And Cody's not going to drop that one. He gobbles it up. All right, they're still in it.
It's
Still got a game here. We only got 1:20 left. Stags down 1. But this is the point where you see who is the heart of your team. Who is the players that are going to make the big plays when the game is on the line. And right now for the Stags, the game is on the line.
Becker puts in Minershagen, Johnson, 2 Ds earlier. Minershagen, big one. Laurie, Blackman, Root, Hancock, McGinn.
You know what to expect here from the Nighthawks. You know that Pottinger is going to get it. Savage is going to be his reset. They're going to be looking for LeDuc. That's how it's been all game. Pull here from Laurie.
Crowd getting up.
Now Savage with it, finds Pottinger. Sean Parker is guarding LeDuc, backing him considerably.
It's not going to be enough to just allow them to work the disc with the handlers. They can throw it and let it expire. 7 passes left.
Time is ticking. Minershagen's got to stay closer. You can't give up that free reset right now. Pottinger with it. Pottinger to Underhill.
30 on the clock.
Very patient offense here. Haven't seen this much patience from the Nighthawks. They're finding the holes. There's Savage with it to Roberts.
And if
Roberts
they score,
fakes
there's no chance left.
to Savage. Savage to Knapp. Three. And that is gonna do it. So a rather anticlimactic end. Stags unable to force a turnover. Gave up a lot of free dumps in that point. And the Vancouver Nighthawks now move to 3-7 on the year.
And they gave
Excuse me, 3-6. Their 3 wins all came against the Portland Stags.
They gave us a game.
They did. Came right down to the wire, 16-15. Closer than the other 2 matchups between these two.
Week 9 in the books for the Stags and the Nighthawks. Couple more games next week. One very big one. Going to be live on MLU. That's going to be the Dogfish at Seattle. Next Sunday. Be sure to check in here. That one has playoff implications for the top seed, winner of the conference. Out east, New York at Washington, D.C. The 2 teams left fighting for the playoff spot.
Of course, the Boston Whitecaps already solidified their spot atop the Eastern Conference.
Spinners eliminated from contention at 2-7 going into today's game, or no game this weekend. A lot going on. We're going to see the first playoff game in San Francisco the week after, and the other one in Boston. Fantastic game here. I think we'll take us out with the plays of the week from last week. For Jackson Kelsey, I'm Kevin Minderhout. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great weekend.
Coached off on him, so he hit the underneath guy who was wide open. It was a very smart play.
Neely now with the disc. Big hammer across. Can Wodach get there? What a catch by Wodach!
I mean, they refused to be pretty about it, but they scored, so that was impressive. And that's Wodach, and he's going to make plays for you.
And there we go. First point of the game.
Gets it to Tyler Grant there. Grant just resuming. Oh, that's a massive D. Wow, Nick Menzies with that D. The Vancouver Nighthawks incredible bid, and he goes deep, gets the hammer from Collins with time out, and he gets the goal with 0 seconds left on the clock. That's Andy Collins, a full field hammer to Nick Menzies after Nick Menzies got that D.
Great throw there by Kuzmowicz as well.
Wow.
Got him in
putting
deep.
it
Puts it up.
with Ong there.
Ong with a huge defensive. Oh
Does he-
my goodness!
Did he get that? Did he get
was
that?
amazing! We should have there, but
All right, here it is. Look. It's floating too long. You got Calvin Ong. He's a big boy, right? And you know he's going to contest it. Look at that thing flipping. And he has the ball in time. He gets it. Are you kidding me?
unbelievable catch. The concentration, the focus.
And you know what? What a good guy,
Wow.
Abergin, too. You know, the first thing he did was look at Calvin Ong. I think they probably had a mutual respect for the play they both made.